Two ancient nations, one fueled by revolution, the other by Sevilla, now closer to a loud war than ever before. From the deserts of Damascus to the White House Situation Room, a fire is rising. And America? It's right in the middle of it. Welcome to Timeless America, where the past meets the present and the truth always cuts through the fog. If you're new here, hit subscribe, tap the like button, and turn on that bell icon. Because today, we're peeling back the curtain on a conflict that's shaping not just the Middle East but the future of global power. The Middle East doesn't sleep, it burns. Not just with oil or sun, but with history, religion, revenge, and politics. And today, at the heart of its fiercest flames stand two of its most powerful and bitter enemies, Iran and Israel. The world knows them as rivals, but today, there's something far more dangerous: active enemies on the edge of war. Missiles have flown. Proxies have struck. Embassies are closing. Satellites watch the skies as generals draw red lines no one believes anymore. But how did we get here? What is this conflict really about? And where does the United States, the so-called peace broker, arms supplier, and global referee fit? This is not just a news story. This is a story of centuries. And tonight, we're telling it all. To understand why Iran and Israel hate each other, you must rewind not to the last election or even the last war, but to 1979. That was the year of Iran's Islamic Revolution. The Shah of Iran, US-backed monarch, was overthrown. In his place came a hardline religious leader who called America the Great Satan and Israel its demonic child. From that moment, Iran's foreign policy was born in opposition to the US, to Israel, and to the Western world. Israel, meanwhile, was barely 3 decades old, a Jewish state forged in the aftermath of the Holocaust, surrounded by Arab enemies. It saw Iran's new regime as existentially dangerous. The result? No diplomacy. No recognition. No compromise. For the past 45 years, Iran and Israel have circled each other like lions in a cage, sometimes biting through proxies, sometimes lunging directly, but always waiting. And now, they may be done waiting. The Iran-Israel conflict rarely plays out in Tehran or Tel Aviv. Instead, it plays out in places like Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Gaza. Iran has built a powerful network of proxy forces, Syria, Lebanon Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. Shia militias in Iraq and Syria, Houthis in Yemen. These aren't just rebel groups. They are Iranian tentacles, trained, funded, and armed by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC. And their goal is clear: to surround Israel and bleed it from the shadows. Israel has responded not with silence, but with airstrikes of them, against Iranian positions in Syria, against weapons convoys in Iraq, against senior commanders in Damascus. In 2020, Israel and the US reportedly carried out a joint operation to assassinate Qasem Soleimani, Iran's top general. That wasn't just a military strike, it was a message. We can reach you anywhere. Iran vowed revenge, and since then, the shadows have grown darker. The last 2 years have seen the most aggressive tit-for-tat exchanges between Iran and Israel in decades. In October 2023, Hamas launched a devastating surprise attack on Israel. Over 1,000 Israelis were killed. The world was shocked. Israel responded with overwhelming force in Gaza. But behind the headlines, Iran's fingerprints were everywhere: training, money, strategy. Iran didn't hide it. They called it resistance. They called it justified. Israel called it war. Then came the red line. Israel struck an Iranian consulate building in Damascus in 2024, killing several senior IRGC commanders. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei vowed direct retaliation, and in April 2025, it happened. For the first time in history, Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles directly at Israel from its own soil. Most were intercepted by Israel's Iron dome and aero defense system with help from American warships in the Mediterranean. But it didn't matter. The message was sent. The era of proxy-only warfare was over. Iran and Israel were now striking each other directly. The world held its breath. Where is the United States in all of this? Everywhere. The U.S. is Israel's #1 ally, providing billions in military aid annually, fighter jets, missile systems, satellite intel, joint training. In fact, when Iran's missiles launched in April 2025, it was American Navy destroyers that shot many of them down. But America is also the power that once tried to negotiate peace with Iran through the 2015 nuclear deal known as the JCPOA. Trump pulled out of it. Biden tried to revive it. Now, in 2025, it's in tatters. The U.S. stands at a crossroads. Support Israel unconditionally and risk direct war with Iran. Try to restrain Israel and risk abandoning ally pressure. Iran and risk igniting a regional inferno, and all the while, America's military bases across the region from Iraq to Bahrain to Qatar sit within Iranian missile range. The U.S. is not a spectator. It is a co-star in this deadly play. Is this really about? Is it religion? Is it territory? Is it pride? Yes, and more. Iran sees Israel as an illegitimate occupura, Western implant in the Muslim world. Israel sees Iran as an existential threat, a state sponsor of terror that seeks its destruction. Iran wants influence. Israel wants security. But both want something deeper, survival on their own terms. And that's why compromise is so hard. Because to Iran, compromise looks like surrender. To Israel, compromise looks like suicide. And the USA, it tries to walk a tightrope. But increasingly, that rope is burning at both ends. There's another element that makes this conflict uniquely terrifying: nuclear weapons. Israel has them, though. It has never officially confirmed. Iran wants them, though it denies the pursuit. And in 2025, Western intelligence says Iran is closer than ever to weapons-grade uranium. Israel has said, "We will never allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons." Period. Translation: if Iran gets too close, Israel will strike. That could mean war. State on state, airstrikes, cyberattacks, naval battles. And in that scenario, America will not stay out. The current tensions aren't random. They're not even recent. They are the climax of decades of pressure, paranoia, and proxy bloodshed. And right now, in June 2025, Israel has increased airstrikes in Syria. Iran has mobilized IRGC forces near Iraq. Hezbollah has moved rocket systems closer to Israel's border. American ships are patrolling near Hormuz. Global oil prices are climbing. Diplomats are fleeing the region. And no one is blinking. This isn't Cold War anymore. It's warm war. And it's heating up. Can this be stopped? Only if both sides believe survival doesn't require supremacy. Only if America redefines its role not just as a shield for Israel or a foe of Iran, but as a true mediator. But time is short. The missiles are real, and the next strike could come any minute. What happens between Iran, Israel, and the USA in the next months could reshape the entire world, from oil markets to global alliances to the future of war itself. If you want to understand these events before they make the headlines, stay with us. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless America, turn on notifications, and don't miss the truth behind the stories that matter most. Because history isn't just in textbooks, it's happening now. And sometimes, the future begins with war.